Good evening. With the news, my name is Alan Mwale. The headlines. Government says it is close to finding new investors for Tambishi Metals, a cobalt and copper producing mine based on the copper belt, which has been closed for over 2 years. A governance activist, Bredna Changala, has charged that the Zambia Police Service is highly politicized, as evidenced by their inertia to arrest cadres who stormed the radio stations on the copper belt. The Ministry of Small and Medium Enterprises is set to launch a program through the Citizens Economic Empowerment Commission, CEEC, as part of plans to mitigate the effects of load shedding among SMEs. In sports, a FIFA referee, Janis Kazwa, will come out of retirement for his official final whistle in the MTN Super League game that will take place at Hero Stadium when NAPSA Stars in the 10 champions Red Arrows. We have the news in detail shortly. And now the news in detail. Government says it is close to finding new investors for Tambishi Metals, a cobalt and copper producing mine based on the copper belt, which has been closed for over 2 years. Minister of Mines and Mineral Development, Paul Kabuswe, said the new investor will be unveiled once negotiations are concluded. Meanwhile, the minister expressed optimism that the Southern Province can be a potential copper belt province in the production of minerals to contribute to the treasury. Speaking when he paid a courtesy call on Southern Province Minister, Mr. Kabuswe said that the province and the country has not had a structured way of doing things, especially in the mining sector. He said that government is committed to bridging the leakages that have been in the mining sector. The minister disclosed that amethyst mineral has been in the province for a long time, but that the country has not seen the benefit.
And that is why we are taking the visit to Southern Province very, very seriously. We wish to know, Honorable Minister, that we just came up with a concept paper on how we can deal with small scale and artisanal miners. I'm sure you were in cabinet when that was being presented and approved, and funding has actually come. So Southern Province is an integral part of that program, so that our people through cooperatives can have proper structured mining, safe mining, and we also want to make sure that we know where this, for example, the lithium is coming from, where it is going, how it's being exported. Because I think that what is happening now is that people just go there, buy, like you said, for a song. Our people remain poor. It does not even go through our mineral records. They just get whatever they get and go and sell, and the country is losing.
Meanwhile, Southern Province Minister Cornelius Mwetwa stated that the issues surrounding minerals in the province will be dealt with. He said that in Mapatizia, precious minerals such as tantalite are being mined and sold in unstructured manners.
A scramble from Mapatizia. Almost all the roads are leading to Mapatizia. So you have come at the right time, because in Mapatizia, it is not just lithium and amethyst. There is another mineral,
tin and
tungsten, which is also a high value mineral, which is being mined in a, I should say, a manner that is not structured, and also the selling, which is not structured, to an extent that whereas our people are involved in rudimentary mining, there is a lot of exploitation by the off-takers, who many times get these minerals for a song, and in other instances, as the case is obtaining now, we do have one of the off-takers who went in that area and collected a lot of these quantities of minerals and gave an assurance to the miners there that I'll come and pay you in the next 2 weeks. It is now, I think, almost 2 months, and they've been calling this office so that we can intervene.
A governance activist, Brebna Changala, has charged that the Zambia Police Service is highly politicized, as evidenced by their inertia to arrest cadres who stormed radio stations on the Copperbelt. He noted that there were no arrests despite the cadres being identifiable. Speaking in an interview with SUNFMTV, Mr. Changala stated that the UPND has cadres who are mimicking the Patriotic Front.
The events of now UPND invading radio station is becoming normal, and the police are still in the Patriotic Front limb. We have a police service that is highly politicized, a police service that is unprofessional, a police service which waits for instruction, and that's why they cannot arrest any member of the ruling party. Ruling party PF then, ruling party UPND now, because that is their modus operandi. They are a political wing of a ruling party, which is a very sad state of affairs.
And leader of the opposition, Patriots for Economic Progress, Sean Tembo, said it is regrettable that the country has high levels of lawlessness.
In this time and age, especially given the fact that there have been a lot of promises coming from the president to the effect that there will be no more political violence going forward. But what we are seeing is more and more political violence. In fact, what we saw in the Copperbelt, in those radio stations in the Copperbelt, is not something that is happening for the first time, nor is it happening for the second time. It is something that is perpetually happening. Not so long ago, we saw in Petauke at Pasmi radio station there, where a presenter was attacked and assaulted, and the people who perpetrated that violence were identified by name as UPND, officials. But up to now, those people have not been arrested. It's been more than 4 months now.
In response, Zambia Police Deputy Spokesperson Danny Mwale said no arrests have been made because no individual has lodged an official complaint.
We saw those videos on social media. We monitored the fire on social media. But what is of the paramount is who complained in the first place. Because we are looking at who lodged in a complaint. Because I don't think there is a complaint up to now with us, a formal complaint up to now. You are hearing me?
Yes.
No. According to our records, we know that, but according to our records, we don't have any.
The Ministry of Small and Medium Enterprises is set to launch a program through the Citizens Economic Empowerment Commission, CEEC, as part of plans to mitigate effects of load shedding among SMEs. Minister Elias Mubanga, speaking when he featured on Diamond TV, said the product will allow SMEs acquire loans that will be granted to them in form of machinery and that can be used during the 12 hours power outages. Mr. Mubanga acknowledged that the effects of load shedding on SMEs is an urgent aspect that government has put into consideration so that businesses do not lose out on profits. He noted that SMEs are totally dependent on hydroelectric power supply and the need for development of innovations is key despite the climate change effects on the country's resources.
When we launch it, when we announce it, we will receive applications. It will be a public announcement and it will be for everyone. And I actually even gave instructions, even before I came here, that this is a very urgent aspect. And it has been in the pipeline for us to develop innovations affecting the climate change. And usually climate change, energy comes in. So this is why I'm saying, for a start, we've got this product and we will target these three, especially the barber, the saloon owners, and the fabricators. Of course, and any other we will see that they need some help.
In related news, an energy expert at Johnston Chikwanda has encouraged the utilization of solar chargeable lamps for lighting and gas for cooking during this load shedding period. Speaking in an interview with SUNFM News, Mr. Chikwanda explained that with the high prices of solar panels and gas and unavailability of the commodity, most households will most likely revert to charcoal for heating and cooking. As part of energy sector reforms, he further encouraged the government to consider banning the importation and manufacturing of conventional geysers in Zambia and promote the importation of manufacturing of solar geysers. He is of the view that a forced migration to solar geysers for new installations will go a long way in encouraging use of alternative sources of power.
We need to continue with reforms in the energy sector aimed at removing the remaining bottlenecks in order to attract more investors in the sector, especially with regards to the cost-reflective tariffs. As long as the tariffs remain non-cost reflective, it will be a challenge to attract meaningful investment. Resolving the issue of tariffs and cutting down on lengthy, cumbersome procurement and regulatory processes will unlock the deployment of private sector investment in the energy sector, both in the short term, medium and long term, across the entire diversified energy portfolio.
Traditional leaders across the country have been advised to stick to the revised and updated chiefdom boundaries to avoid succession wrangles. Speaking when local government Permanent Secretary for Technical Services paid a courtesy call on him, Northwestern Minister Robert Lihefu said sticking to traditional boundaries will help address the conflicts. Mr. Lihefu added that government will only be intervening in traditional disputes through guided boundaries.
You have to stick to your boundaries. No traditional leader should go to another chiefdom. You should stick to your chiefdom. You follow, when you come, you bring a problem to our offices. We will not be speaking. We will just be telling you that check on the map that they've distributed. And if you have gone beyond the other chiefdom, please move away from that chiefdom, just to go back to your chiefdom.
And local government Permanent Secretary Nicholas Piri said government will visit all districts to engage traditional leaders on the matter.
Where citizens are fighting because of chiefdom boundaries, it means that it becomes a disincentive to development. So in the quest for promoting unity, in the quest for promoting national unity, in the quest to foster development, we thought it wise to make these maps available so that the reliance on oral tradition in terms of boundaries should be reduced, because oral tradition means that it's your story against mine, but the maps make it a little bit more objective.
While Copperbelt Province Permanent Secretary Augustine Kasongo expressed a similar sentiment about the increased succession wrangles in the province, which were negatively impacting development. Mr. Kasongo also called for speedy resolution to chiefdom wrangles, adding that other cases have gone as far as committing criminal offenses such as putting up of flags, making stamps and selling land.
To thank you for having come. We are just looking forward to most of these projects that we are going to do to be executed. We are looking forward to some people that should be attached to your team so that you work closely with us as a provincial administration. This is how it should be, because in the past we have had a lot of activities taking place in Lusaka on behalf of the people in provinces. But when you engage the people in the province, you involve them, there's that sense of ownership, and then you push the agenda together.
Leaders who spoke through their chairperson, Chief Nkambo, the fourth, welcomed the move and commended the government for what it has embarked on.
Step in wabula uteko ukwevati kungava ichirie ichiakulolesha palwa mipaka ulwa chiefdoms among alukumfuanika, as you rightly stated in your opening remarks, ukwevati kwalukubokulwa abambi kufikane pabipire kamlandu wa fifi nokani kwa kutumana nchibeba wini uruta damfulolo wa bulwa duli bwino efi ubuteko buberele kofwana nikula mwilina.
Speaker of the National Assembly, Nelly Muti, has been elected to represent other African speakers on the Standing Committee of the Conference of Speakers and Presiding Officers of the Commonwealth. She was elected at the ongoing 26th Conference of Speakers and Presiding Officers of the Commonwealth in the Australian capital, Canberra. The Speaker says her election demonstrates the confidence the Commonwealth has in the Zambian Parliament, especially on the advancement of the tenets of democracy and Zambia's respect for the rule of law. She says that she will use her new portfolio to advance effective measures of deliberating matters in the conference, which will benefit the Commonwealth and its people. In her keynote address during the conference, Ms. Muti said parliamentarians should leverage on modern digital innovations that enable the democratic involvement and participation of citizens in discussing public policy matters and the general welfare of citizens. Ms. Muti said that legislatures must ensure that they are not left behind due to strict adherence to parliamentary traditions, customs, and practice. Ministry of Education Permanent Secretary Joel Kamoko has reiterated that government places high premium on education, hence the reintroduction of a free education policy. Here is the report.
The Zambia Open Community Schools, ZOCS, is an organization in existence since 1992, aims to empower community schools and provide quality education. The organization supports over 1,000 community schools in 76 districts, with an estimated population of 172,680 learners being taught by over 2,340 volunteer teachers across the country. ZOCS has also extended a hand in helping government schools in providing quality education among orphans and vulnerable children. With the coming of free education, there has been an influx of children in schools, hence the need for more infrastructure. Ndolas Twalubuka School is one of the beneficiaries, where ZOCS, in partnership with Airtel Zambia and government, commissioned a 1x3 classroom block. Ministry of Education Permanent Secretary Joel Kamoko, who officiated the handover ceremony on behalf of the Education Minister, said there is need for infrastructure development to reduce overcrowding in schools.
I want to believe that there is then a need for us to quickly expand our infrastructure development. Already the head teacher you heard, she was very straight to what she wants, and I told the PO tapali chibumba na mumfwa na badebzi shenu na mwashara therefore kunjita ati fidabalerira na tuchitapo chimo.
ZOCS board chairperson Victor Koi encouraged the beneficiaries to improve academically following the investment.
To the learners, I'd like to say what I told your friends in Mwaluwemba in Osaka in Chongwe district. Please, take this investment as a pillar of inspiration. The value of the resources and effort invested in all this should challenge you to work hard, to improve yourselves academically, so that in turn you may be able to further develop this school for those that come after you.
Airtel Zambia Managing Director Apova Merotra said every child deserves good education, hence the commitment to infrastructure development.
Airtel has been very consistent and focused in its CSR activities. Our CSR activities have always been centered around education for the underprivileged, as we believe very sincerely that every child deserves a good education.
School head teacher Agnes Kandela thanked and welcomed the gesture, but also appealed for desks to fill up the classes.
It has very beautiful classrooms, but there are no desks there. Please, we are appealing for the desks for the learners. Please, may you assist us that the learners may be sitting comfortably when learning.
Reporting for SUNFM Radio and TV, I'm Crestas Mtoki in Ndola.
Mongo Municipal Council, through its legal department, has secured conviction of 13 shop owners for the offense of display of merchandise in corridors in the subordinate court. The 13 shops between 1st August and 31st August displayed goods or merchandise on their frontage corridors, sidewalks or streets of business without council approval. Confirming the development, Mongo Council Public Relations Officer Emmanuel Lupikisha said despite several warnings from the Public Health Department, shop owners continued displaying their merchandise in corridors. Mr. Lupikisha said that the court found the shop owners guilty and fined 750 kwacha.
Council remains resolute in maintaining sanity in the district and will not relent in ensuring that their mandate is upheld. Shop owners are therefore requested to comply with conditions of their licenses to avoid being inconvenienced.
Muchinga Province Permanent Secretary Henry Mukungule has wooed investors to take advantage of the forthcoming expo and invest in tourism, agriculture, and other sectors. Mr. Mukungule said the expo will bring a lot of opportunities for the people of Muchinga, such as employment for the youths in all sectors that will subsequently help reduce poverty levels. He added that in the mining sector, the Nkumbwa Hills provides an opportunity for investors to consider coming up with industries that will allow them to mine minerals that are rich in fertilizer components. Mr. Mukungule noted that the expo resonates with the New Dawn government's aspirations of having value addition to products and boost economic activities. Preparations for the 2023 Muchinga Province Investment Forum and Expo that were launched in Lusaka on July 29, 2022 are still underway. This is the SUNFM News. We take a break and come back with sports.
Radio has come alive on TV. Watch all your favorite shows live. Watch all your favorite hits live. Watch all your favorite talk shows live. Watch what you hear. It's radio on TV. It's SUNFMTV, Zambia's first visual radio on air on Topstar Channel 91. Download SUNFM Zambia app and watch live TV. Watch live TV on sunfmzambia.net. Follow us on Twitter at SUNFM Zambia. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and watch live shows and podcasts. Everyone is not just listening. Now, everyone is watching.
In sports, FIFA referee Gianni Sikazwe will come out of retirement for his official final whistle in the MTN Super League game that will take place at Heroes Stadium when NAPSA Stars entertain champions Red Arrows. This will be in a Week 18 fixture to be played this Saturday. Sikazwe's career comes to a close this weekend after 23 years of officiating, on which he has officiated at 2 FIFA World Cups, Under-17 and Under-20 FIFA World Cups, FIFA Africa Cup of Nations, the FIFA Club World Cup, among other tournaments. The NAPSA Stars vs Red Arrows match will kick off at 15 hours, while the early kickoff at Heroes will see Bankers Zanaco hosting Chambishi. Meanwhile, FA's Super League side Power Dynamos Football Club this afternoon unveiled their new kit courtesy of Sarago Motors Limited. The development is in line with the 2-year kit sponsorship deal that the two parties signed in September last year. Speaking during the unveiling ceremony in Kitwe this morning, Power Dynamo's president, Benny Simukoko, said his executive has continued to motivate Godfrey Ngwenya, captain's side, in different ways. Hence, the team is repaying with posting positive results, as evidenced by the position on the 2022-2023 league table.
This deal signifies the desire of Power Dynamos to collaborate with business corporation to take the club to even higher heights. That's why we have the new design bearing the Sarago Motors Limited logo on the sleeves. Through the supply of the huge Ambro product line, we hope it will benefit the supporters immensely and ensure that they maintain.
And Sarago Motors Limited Chief Operating Officer Luonde Kianamina said her institution is impressed to learn that Power Dynamos are currently table toppers.
As Sarago Motors, we believe in investing back in the communities where we work and where we conduct our businesses. We believe that by investing in football itself, we will be investing in the growth of this economy, we'll be investing in promoting employment in the country, and also as a corporate social responsibility, we believe that this will be a unifying factor in the communities where we operate.
In other sports news, the National Heritage Conservation Commission has revealed plans to set up a 21-feet memorial monument worth 600,000 kwacha in honor of Profound Warriors players who perished in a road accident in 1980. Speaking during a media briefing, Profound Warriors Committee Chairperson Boni Mubukwanu said the 21-feet monument, which represents the number of players who were on the bus, will be the biggest in the country. Mubukwanu stated that the committee will have a fundraising breakfast and a football tournament in February and April in a bid to raise funds for the setting up of the memorial monument. That brings us to the end of this edition of the news. To end, we recap on the headlines. Government says it is close to finding new investors for Chambeshi Metals, a cobalt and copper producing mine based on the copper belt, which has been closed for over 2 years. A governance activist, Brebna Changala, has charged that the Zambia Police Service is highly politicized, as evidenced by their inertia to arrest cadres who stormed radio stations on the copper belt. The Ministry of Small and Medium Enterprises is set to launch a program through the Citizens Economic Empowerment Commission, CEEC, as part of plans to mitigate the effects of load shedding among SMEs. In sports, FIFA referee Janice Kazewe will come out of retirement for his official final whistle in the MTN Super League game that will take place at Hero Stadium when NAPSA Stars entertain champions Red Arrows. And that's where we end this edition of the news. My name is Alan Molly, wishing you a pleasant evening. Stay tuned.
You are watching and listening to SUNFMTV on channel 91 on Topstar and radio on 88.5 FM on the Copperbelt to 95.5 FM in Kapiriamposhi, Central Zambia on 95.1 FM. Nation's capital Lusaka on 95.3 FM.